Tokyo Auto Salon 2025 ended almost 2 months ago, but a car that was announced during that event has been on my mind ever since. This is that car. Yes, that is the Drift King himself, Keiichi Tsuchiya, and that is an IONIQ 5N. With the most unexpected collaboration, the Hyundai IONIQ 5N DK edition. Now, before we dive into the car too much more, if you could, please hit the subscribe button down below and give the video a thumbs up. It helps us out greatly and it'll cost you nothing. We appreciate it a lot and thank you for watching. The moment we saw the announcement of the IONIQ 5N DK edition here at Gas & Watts, we wanted to figure out how we could get our hands on one to test it. But unfortunately, the IONIQ 5N DK edition isn't coming to the US. It's going to be an exclusive release in Japan and Korea. Although we're pretty sad about it not being released here in the US, we kind of understand why. EV sales last year were about 1.3 million in the US. Of those 1.3 million EVs sold, 37,578 of those were IONIQ 5s. From that, we can say that 5% of those were IONIQ 5Ns. And that would give us 1,879 IONIQ 5Ns. That's not very many in the grand scheme of things, but it's pretty good for a specialty car such as the IONIQ 5N, which starting cost is $66,200. All that being said, I'm not sure how much Keiichi Tsuchiya's name would increase the sales for the IONIQ 5N, as well as to justify the more than likely price increase of the DK edition. Of course, with the DK edition, you are also getting a brake system, 21-inch forged wheels, lowering springs, and carbon fiber aero parts, with Keiichi Tsuchiya's signature green color on all those parts. And of course, the carbon fiber aero parts include the front splitter, side skirts, rear diffuser, and a rear spoiler, which all in all makes the car look amazing. And of course, with all those parts, the driving dynamic of the IONIQ 5N is going to change quite a bit. And it's said with all the aero parts, it's going to produce about 207 pounds of downward force onto the car at 87 miles per hour. So you can see that this car is very track focused and drift focused. So it's very specialized. Now, with all that said, with the IONIQ 5N costing $66,200 to start, with the DK edition, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be quite a bit more with all these parts being added to it. As of right now, there's no specific cost for the DK edition. They are going to announce how much it costs when they're releasing the DK edition, but it wouldn't surprise me if it costs around $80,000 to $85,000 for the DK edition. Now, like I said before, I'm a big fan of Keiichi Tsuchiya and this car looks amazing, but for the US market, I'm not sure how much Keiichi Tsuchiya's name plus the IONIQ 5 plus it being an EV, how appealing it would be in the US markets. So I can see why they're keeping it in Japan and Korea. Even though we're not getting the DK edition of the IONIQ 5N, it would definitely be nice to compare the 641 horsepower N to the DK edition and see how the driving dynamics change. The DK edition is supposed to be tuned to how Keiichi Tsuchiya likes to drive and how he likes to go sideways. So that would be kind of interesting to feel. And then of course the aero parts as well. If it really does produce the 205 pounds of additional downforce at 87 miles an hour. And it would be nice to see how it compared on the track and how it drift around corners. Just comparing the two, both can do those things, but like I said, this is tuned to how Keiichi Tsuchiya likes to drive. It would be nice to just kind of drive an IONIQ 5N around to see how it drives. Hopefully we can get to do that one day. And of course, alongside the announcement of the IONIQ 5N DK edition, Hyundai released 3 videos called The Training, The Winding, and The Completion. And we'll link those videos down in the description if you want to check those out. It's pretty cool. It's just kind of introducing the IONIQ 5N DK edition, and it has Keiichi Tsuchiya kind of driving around. It's pretty cool. And they also show 2 impression videos of Keiichi Tsuchiya doing runs in Gunma and in Fuji Speedway, which is pretty cool, and I'll leave those 2 videos in the link below as well. It is a bit sad that we aren't getting the IONIQ 5N DK edition here in the US, but I do understand why. And it's nice to see that Hyundai is trying to kind of put some emotion and some fun into EVs. And I hope a lot more companies do this and kind of take a risk and kind of push towards car enthusiasts in the future. With that, let me know in the comments what you think about the IONIQ 5 and DK edition, and be sure to subscribe to Gas and Watts and like the video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.